Yes, folks, are you someone mired by mediocre mobility in your ankles? Well, if so, let's fix it. Now, in a previous video, I gave you a really simple way that you can fix your squat pattern if you struggle with poor ankle mobility. If you haven't seen that one already, I recommend you go check that one out. But today, we're going to be specifically looking at how you can test your ankle mobility and then how you can improve it. And in order to do so, you're going to need one of these. Now, you don't actually need a fancy tape measure like this one. You can use any normal tape measure, a ruler, even just some way of marking a set distance on the floor. What we're actually going to do today is something called the knee to wall test. It's a very common exercise used widely across sport, definitely used in football, and a great way of testing ankle mobility and our range of motion. Nice easy test. This one doesn't require much equipment at all, just a wall or something sturdy that's not going to move throughout the test. Now, if you're using a ruler, just make sure that zero mark is right up against the wall, but all I've done is I've fixed my tape measure to the bottom of my squat rack so it's not going to move. Now, the whole point of this test, funnily enough, is making sure that I can get my knee to the wall without my heel raising off the floor. Now, if I start right at the zero mark, my toes against the wall, you can see that in order to get my knee to the wall, it doesn't have to move that far. The mobility required in my ankle isn't that much. But if I move back to the 10 centimeter mark, so my toes lined up with the 10 centimeters, you can see my knees having to travel further over my toes, greater mobility required in the ankle. If I move it all the way back to say 16 centimeters here, you can actually see that I can't get my knee to touch without my heels just starting to come off the floor. So I'll move slightly further forward to 15 centimeters. I'll repeat the test and I can see I can just about get my knee to the wall without my heel coming off the floor. So I know for my right foot, my knee to wall score is 15 centimeters. I'll repeat that for my left foot and I'll get a measure for both sides. And by the way, that's a pretty good score. I know footballers who can get 1 or 2 centimeters. So give it a go, test it out and see what you can get. We've got our scores for our left and our right foot, but what happens if those scores weren't very good? Certainly below 5 centimeters. Obviously we want to try and improve that. How? Easy answer is we get better at that movement and that exercise we've just been doing in the knee to wall. If we could spend more time in those higher ranges of movement for our ankle, it's going to increase our ankle mobility. But we can take it one stage further by adding in different directions with an exercise I like to call the star balance test. Now, if you can imagine yourself stood in the middle of a 4-point star or a compass, if that's easy to picture, all you're going to do is you're going to go hands on hips, staying in balance the whole time, just going to reach as far forward with your toe. You can see this knee is exactly similar movement to the knee to wall. Then you're going to come back to the middle and out to the side, back to the middle, out behind you as far as you can, back to the middle, and out to the other side, importantly behind your standing leg, and back to the middle. Ankles having to do quite a lot of work, not only to keep me in balance, but also to go through quite high ranges of movement. That's obviously going to help with our ankle mobility. And if ever you've gone through those horrible ankle injuries where you roll your ankle, usually you'll find it's from changing direction, side to side movement. So if we can get our ankle getting nice and strong, having to move side to side in those nice safe ranges of movement, it's going to increase our strength, it's going to reduce our chance of injury on the pitch, which is obviously something we want to try and do. Beauty of that exercise as well is you can turn it into a bit of a test, put some cones out, see if you can reach out to them, if you can reach further. Next time, just move that cone slightly further, put a bit of tape on the floor, whatever you need to do, you can literally measure how far you can go. Do it on your right side, do it on your left side, see how good you can do it, and then try and beat that score the next time. That is us, that'll do it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Thank you ever so much for watching.